This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, here we are, 2 days after New Year's now, January 2nd, 2022. And it was January 4th last year, I did my first interview, and it was with the guest I have today, missing a year just by 2 days, but it's okay. We love her anyway. Folks, I give you the person that really helped me get set up with Zoom. Straight out of the UK, one of my fellow 13 fanboy collaborators.
Cohorts.
Yes, I give you Kerry Yates. How do you do, Kerry?
Good evening or good afternoon. It's evening here, afternoon for you. So, hello, how are you?
Yeah, we are after 1 p.m. here, so it must be after 5 where you are.
Yeah, just gone 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's getting very dark and dank, and yes, it's getting to evening time here in the UK. So lights on, and yep.
There we are.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your Christmas?
It's same old at the end of the day. For me, it's it's been nice. It's been nice to have a couple of weeks off with a break and stuff. But for me, it's like a normal day. But that's another story. So at the end of the day, so yeah.
Oh, I didn't have 2 weeks off.
Well, yes and no, because I'm a non-paid caregiver. So it's a bit like being at work 24/7. So that's how it is for me. So everyone says, "Oh, did you have a good Christmas? Or what you do for Christmas?" So I go, "It's the same day for me." It's like, "Is that Groundhog Day?" That's the only way to describe my day today. But life is like Groundhog Day. So, but that's the way. It's my life. I can't help it. It's the way it is. It's like everyone assumes like my day is going to be different, but it isn't. It's not nothing's going to change. It's like people don't like it when you're a bit blunt with them. It's like one friend, they rang me up to say Merry Christmas, what you doing and stuff. And I turned around and I goes, well, because my boys are autistic, my children are autistic. And I said to my friend, I said, autism doesn't go away just because it's Christmas. I said, so at the end of the day, it's the way it is. So nothing you can do about it. But people just assume a magic wand is going to go doing. Or if it's a hunky dory, as we call it over here, and but it isn't. I'm an unpaid caregiver. My children are going to be autistic 365 days, 24/7. It's the way it is. So yes. So how are you?
Me? Well, I did do a 13 fanboy reunion of sorts, right on New Year's, right on the stroke of midnight here.
All
So
right. Yes.
yeah, so it counts as a 2022, even though it was still 2020. One more they were, it was 2022 for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we had Jason Bradford was on here. Rick Serra was on there with them, and Christy Fontenot was back on. She's always very supportive, and Jimmy Presley was on, but Jimmy, his audio wasn't working, so he thought on the spot, and he started holding up little cue cards what he wanted to say.
There's a way to get around it, isn't there? It's the poor Jimmy and his sort of like internet. It's not very good, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I also don't think Jimmy Presley gets the recognition that he probably deserves because he does a lot, and he did recently do a Doubtfire Face challenge, and I feel a little shitty because I was told recently I put like $3,000 into 13 Fanboy, and I'm happy for the people that have done it, and I'm glad that Ron Sloan did it.
Oh, good.
You know, I'm and I'm hoping, knock on woods, Laura Park Lincoln will do it as well. She wants to, but she needs to heal because she just got done having a spinal surgery. So she was supposed to come on here at the end of 2021, and she was in too much pain, and I don't want her to suffer through that. So yeah, so I'll cameo her a Doubtfire challenge when the time comes. But I got turned at. But you'd think with the money I put into this 13 Fanboy would be a little more behind me, considering the fact that I'm not making money at this. And so Judy Aronson just flat out turned it down after first claiming she would on Cameo. And I had another person say that they're taking a pass on it. I won't call them out here because I'm not angry with them, but a little heartbroken. Yeah. And I don't think Debbie Sue and anybody else has any desire for it either. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'll be very blunt. Oh, well, you got your kid there, so I won't say this. I was gonna say F me, but
she can't hear you because I've got the headphones on, so she can't hear you. So,
okay. I didn't know I didn't want to badly influence your daughter. So anyway, so I was down about that. Now I am happy Lydia Manson did it at the end of the year, but it's just like, I've contributed to your cause. I've contributed to a lot of other causes, and when I take part in these film projects, it's like, they can't take time. Like Scotty McCoy said, it cost him less than $5 for a paper plate and whipped cream, so but no, it's just a matter of I'm not part of the clique. So that's where I stand with that. And I don't care who from that movie hears this. I don't care. I'm angry about that. And it's kind of put me in a position where my support is going to wane for these projects. And when it comes to them, I just don't have to go meet them at cons. Yep.
Exactly.
I don't have to spend money at their table. And they will not have their picture taken with me. Now, notice how I said that. They don't get their picture taken with me.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for you guys going to these cons, they wouldn't have the extra income from doing, having. So at the end of the day, it's us that puts them in their homes. It's us that puts them on screen. It's us. It's not being horrible to any star or anything, but at the end of the day, it's us that puts them there in the first place. So if it wasn't us putting bums on seats, as we call it, then basically, you're only as good as how you look after your fans. And I think I watched a Josh Henderson. He played the new John Ross in the Dallas reboot.
Okay.
And he said he never, ever, ever gets fed up with being asked for an autograph or can we have a selfie in a diner. He said, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for those people recognizing me, I wouldn't be able to do what I do today. And he says, I'm humbled. He says, if I get recognized as John Ross Ewing for the next 10, 15, 16 years, I'm honoured because at the end of the day, I've obviously impacted that person so much. And it's like we have a hard man over here called Ross Kemp. He was in a soap opera called EastEnders. And he hasn't been in EastEnders for a little while now. But everyone goes, oh, Grant, and he was interviewed on a morning television program, and they actually said, do you ever get fed up of being associated with EastEnders and your character Grant Mitchell? He goes, well, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have my documentary series now. I wouldn't have, this. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't even have the house I'm living in now if it wasn't for that soap opera back in the day. And if it wasn't for those fans watching me play Grant and this, that, and the other, that is what some people have got to remember. It's the way. Do you get what I mean? It's
You
if it
know,
wasn't for me and if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't be where they are. And as you say, that was a Doubtfire challenge. If they said they will do it, they should do it. They shouldn't say, I'm gonna do it and not do it just to shut you up. It's wrong. At the end of the day, they said they're gonna do it, they've agreed to do it, and they should do it. Not just say, oh, yes, I will do it, but not do it, because at the end of the day, in my eyes, it's wrong. It's like, I've agreed to take you to do this. It would have been wrong with me to say, oh, Greg, can't bother. It's wrong. At the end of the day, that's not me as a person. I've agreed to come on, talk to you, even though I did a little mishap yesterday. I could have said, oh no, but I did. It shows the person what the person's truly like. That's how I look at it. And if they can't be bothered to sort of like do the Doubtfire challenge after them, then I'm sorry, but they're not worth their salt in my eyes. That's how I look at it.
well, you know what? It's funny because those that have turned it down from 13 Fanboy, I kind of look at it like they just basically slapped me in the face for the $3,000 or whatever I put in that film. That's as far as I'm
Yeah, will
concerned.
do.
It was for
And
suicide and depression awareness, and it's like, nope, I don't count. I'm not worthy
they,
enough.
well, they shouldn't have. In my eyes, they shouldn't have agreed to do it. End of. If they're not interested, they should have said, Greg, I'm not interested in doing it. End of. But I do have other feelings behind it, but I won't say it. I'll keep
Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. I think Jimmy Presley will agree, and I think there's some others out there that agree too. It's like, yep. But I don't care who from the film hears this. Those that did it, thank you. Like your Jason Bradfords, your Troy Elkies, your Noelle Burgers, and people like that. My appreciation to them. Dave Miller, and especially Ron Sloan, I appreciate. And you know what? Lar Park Lincoln does it wonderful, wonderful. I told her I would donate to the charity of her choice if she does it. But even that, it's like, if I'm willing to do that, like, I don't know. It's just like I've got the words "fuck me" on my back. It's yeah. Like everybody went out a few years ago and dumped ice water over their head for the ILS challenge. I had no idea what it was, and I guarantee you most of the people that did that didn't know what it was either. They did it because it was trending. Problem is, I was too naive to realize that. My dad has ALS, and he's had it for 7 years. My dad's a fighter, and he's one of the most wonderful people I know. But sad that people just did it because it was trending. But I thought, gee, what if people did this with a cause every year? But now you get people eating Tide Pods on challenges. You got people doing any other stupid thing for their 15 seconds of fame, And I actually thought whenever I came across this, because number one, I grew up with that style of humor, and I'm on antidepressants now. So I mean, I've dealt with it, and it's like I thought, well, for the money I put into this, I'm pretty sure I could get some names behind this, but no. I guess in the end of the day, I'm just a fucking idiot, I guess. That's how I see it, But anyway, going back to your previous thing about fans, one person I'll definitely call out here is Jennifer Lawrence. She's somebody I have such a heart. I was such a big fan of hers up until last couple of years because yeah, there's a woman right there who's got loads of talent. I was so happy when she won the Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook. You know, I enjoyed the first two Hunger Games movies. You know, I've enjoyed her in a lot of stuff with David O. Russell directed her in. I thought she was a real strong presence. And then she gets on this video. She does one with Adam Sandler, I believe, and she gets on talk shows and talks about how she's intentionally rude to fans that come up to her and ask for autographs or so. You know what? I get it. There's a time and place. I wouldn't want to be hounded either. But she goes on and she says she won't do selfies with fans because she doesn't know them. But she doesn't mind chumming up to any fucking celebrity out there and doing selfies with celebrities. And I've seen her do that. She doesn't mind doing that. And you'll notice in interviews, she doesn't say my best friend. She says my best friend, Amy Schumer. She wants everybody to know what class she is, you know?
Yeah.
So when I look at Jennifer Lawrence, I see somebody that needs to be cut down to size. That's what I see.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, there's a big difference between Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone. I'm a huge Emma Stone fan. And I hope that she stays true. But here's the thing. During the pandemic, Emma Stone got married privately. Now, some of the paparazzi found out, but Emma Stone wasn't going on social media or Twitter announcing it. She got married privately. She also got pregnant. And the only reason that came out is because, you know, paparazzi caught her and a friend or whatever walking out in public with their mask on and whatnot, and she was showing. But you don't see Emma Stone all over the internet and the tabloids and Twitter and whatnot saying she's pregnant. I think Emma Stone has got a very believable presence. Now, on the flip side, Jennifer Lawrence, she gets married and there's headlines about it. So she makes a big deal out of it. Because after all, she's better than us, you know, she's better than us. And then she gets pregnant, and that's a big announcement. You know what? There's people get pregnant every day. How about giving them a big high five?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want kids, but you know what? That's me. But I don't think Jennifer Lawrence is any better than anybody else. And quite frankly, for somebody I used to really admire, just the mere mention of her name makes me disgusted right now. She tripped going up the stairs at the Oscars when she went to get her award for Silver Linings Playbook. And we all thought it was cute until it happened at another award ceremony.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, now I'm not buying it.
Exactly.
Yep. But I'll tell you one thing. Here's one thing I do when I go to the movie theater. When I look at all those movies playing, I'm like, I picture all the stars off to the side, hoping and praying I go to their movie.
Yeah.
You know, I went and saw the new Matrix movie last night, and I saw the other ones. I didn't like the second and third one at all. But you know why I went? Because I saw a video. And again, this was something somebody was filming unbeknownst to the celebrity. But Keanu Reeves was on a subway reading a paper. And there's a pregnant woman standing up holding on to the bar thing. Keanu gets up. It actually seems to be still reading the paper, but he notices he gets up and lets the pregnant woman sit down.
Yeah.
That's a guy I want to support.
Exactly. So I've seen him a few times supporting others, despite his celebrity.
Yeah.
So I salute him.
Yep.
No, there was all I'll say is the only celebrity store. Well, where I live, we had a theatre
Hmm.
where the stars come and they do their stint and stuff, and then they go on and do their shows and movies and stuff. We have the festival theatre where you can go see plays and that. Well, one staff, he's in a line of other family stars, so I won't mention his name. Well, a few years ago, he was at the local festival theatre doing a play, and he was the biggest arsehole out. Me and my husband, and then our young elder son, we thought, oh, we'll go for a pub lunch. It was a Saturday. Husband had the day off from work, and we thought we'll have a family, We thought and stuff, and we noticed that this star was in the corner with his entourage. He was the biggest. Because we didn't recognize him. Well, we did know who he was, but we weren't going up to him and go, can we have an autograph? Can we have our photograph taken with you? Or stuff like that. He was like making himself known because he was making an absolute arse of himself because we weren't going up and going, oh, can we, are you are you so and so? And I sat there and went, and he was getting louder and louder and louder. And my husband went in the corner, goes, we know who you are, but I'm here for a quiet lunch with my wife. He goes, you may want to make a tit out of it, but I've worked 72 hours straight. I want to have a quiet time with my wife and my son. He goes, shush. And then the second time, do you remember the cowboy in Halloween? What was it Halloween? 5. Where the cowboy comes in. Me and my husband were at the ATM. Guess who's in behind us?
That guy.
And he's in his cowboy regalia, and he's in cowboy boots, and he's making a arse of himself again because he's like, like this, clonk clonk. I went, he's following us, isn't it? I went, oh, and I looked and I went, there you go, there's the ATM. He thought because he was who he was, I was going to give him priority over the ATM. And I said, and I looked at, no, my son needs formula. Do you get what I mean? My son needs formula. You can wait. You can go and get normal milk. The shop that I need to go to get my son's formula shuts in half an hour. He looked at me and say, you say you're not going to. I went, you're an asshole. Why do they do it? I said, at the end of the day, there is another ATM round the corner you could use, but don't, innit? I said, some stars stick to their sort of like human roots. And then you get the other stars that go totally the opposite end of the scale, and they just turn into arseholes because they think they can, because they think we owe them. I'm like, no, it's the opposite way around. If I decide I want to go see your show at the theatre, it's my hard-earned cash that's going to, you may only get what, a pound or 50 cents in your, roughly, but that is funding you going for that meal, you go and putting your card into the ATM. And I think these stars who think they're the big bee's knees, as we call it, should remember that and understand it and stay humble, because it's very quick to turn into an arsehole in this sort of like celebrity world and stuff. And I think they should remember it. In my eyes, that's how I look at it. It's like, I saw Michael Brandon. Do you know the Dempsey? He's married to Glynis Barber. I knew who he was. I could see he's busy because he's on his cell phone. And I turns round, I sees him and stuff. And he turns around. I just sort of put my hand up to say a hi, la da da. He waved. I respected his space because I knew, because I heard what he was saying. I've only got like 45 minutes. I come into town to go to the ATM, and I've got to go back to the shop. I wasn't gonna hound him just because I knew, but I said oh, hi, and let him carry on with his day. We recognised each other, and that was. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's at least,
So
that's respectable, but
yeah.
yeah, but no, when I see that kind of behavior, the bad behavior, and and if you don't want to call the person out that you were talking about, that's fine. Uh,
Yes.
I don't mind
Well,
calling.
I just sat there and I went, you arsehole. Innit? I just sat there and you arsehole. Why? Innit? I said, yeah, have your lunch with your entourage. No one wants to know what he had to make it loud. I said, I was ordering, like I said, can I have a burger and fries with a beer, please? It was right. I would like that sirloin steak, but I want it medium done, and I want this. I was saying, why? Isn't it? Why do it? Isn't it? Why do it? I said at the end of the day, I said we know who you are. We know what shows you've done. I said yes. I said I'm on a quiet lunch with my husband. We, you know, and at the time, you had to sit outside if you had a child. Now it's a bit more family friendly. But I just sat there and thought, why do you do it? Why do you do it? Isn't it? Don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Well, all it takes is a few flops, and I'll tell you, they start treading down that box office ladder pretty quick. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, then we see what their social circle looks like after that.
Yes,
And the sad
exactly.
thing is, Jennifer Lawrence makes some pretty darn good movies, but if that's how she's going to behave, then you know, why bother?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I kept hearing how bad the Matrix Revelations was, worst film of the year, and it very well could have been. I didn't like the second and third one, but I went because I have respect for Keanu Reeves. You know,
Yeah.
when I see people like that thing of him on the subway, and again, that was somebody was videoing him as what was happening, so that wasn't right. But they caught him at the right time. He didn't look at the camera. He didn't even look at the pregnant woman, from what I could see,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I can recall. But he, your peripheral vision, he noticed, and so I respect that. So I don't
Yeah.
mind going to see his movie. And quite frankly, Matrix Revelations, I thought was better than a lot of people were giving it credit for. I can see
Mm-hmm.
why people didn't like it, but same token, I had a fairly good time with it. So yeah, but I'm glad to see he's a humble human being. So there you go. But every year I always look online. There used to be a magazine called Autograph Collector, and they would
Mm-hmm.
always, for the year, they would always have your top 10 best and worst signers. And boy, I pay attention to that.
Yeah.
There are some people that are pretty cool, and then there's some people that are absolutely dreadful. And I
Mm-hmm.
look at this and I'm like, I'm not one to approach somebody in public somewhere. It's just not my character. But when you're on the red carpet and you're in a public place, then you're in a space where you can do pictures, you can sign stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Like I hear great things about John Travolta, Tom
Mm-hmm.
Cruise, um, and those are two really big stars I heard are pretty nice. Um, I heard Johnny Depp is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Matt Damon is apparently quite nice. And names are escaping me. There are other names as well, but those ones come to mind that are usually on that top 10 best list, so, and I'll give you another thing too. Speaking of public places, I saw Chantal Kraviazik, who's a wonderfully gifted Canadian singer. I saw her in concert at the Playhouse here back probably about 5 years ago or so. I don't remember when she played here last. I got a t-shirt, CD, and so I think I got a CD anyway. I got a t-shirt for sure. Anyway, she's performing, and I'm trying to get into a spot where I can take some pictures. And I get this usher comes up to me and tells me that we're not allowed to take pictures. And I look at the usher and I said, look, I paid for my ticket. They're not eating at a restaurant. They're in a public place performing. I'll take all the pictures I want to. I paid to be here. I didn't care for that, and it kind of ruined the experience for me. I'll be frank, I didn't take any more pictures just out of respect, but I haven't gone back since.
Yeah, it does. It puts you off. You sit there and go, is that being told by her? Is it being told by management? And you sit there and it does put you off, because at the end of the day, you've gone and worked, say, 70 hours for that one ticket. And if it's in a public place like an auditorium, an arena, and if you were invading her private space like a home or or a restaurant, and you turn around and say, look, I'm actually having a meal with my mum, say, can you please not? It's because we're having a bit of family time. You'll turn around and say, yeah, no worries. Just, I sort of ask first. But if you paid, it's like I've seen loads of videos of other stars being on YouTube, say, and they're all in public places, which you are entitled to do so. But when you get told, oh, don't do it, you're like, well, why can't I? It's, it goes to the territory of being in an arena or an auditorium, and you're told, oh, no, you can't. It does put you off that star or going to another concert, because it does put you off.
I look at it this way. It'd be about the same. I've ran into people that's gone to Africa and gone on safaris, and apparently that's quite a pricey adventure. But every time, like I've ran into a couple people that's come back, and I'd always ask to see pictures of the animals they've seen on the safari. Can you imagine going on a safari and being told you can't take pictures?
Exactly. No, can you sign a disclosure, please? Can you not because he needs his privacy? Well, listen, I sit there and go, well, isn't that part and parcel of going on a safari anyway? It's you go to a water park, you're going to want to take a photograph of yourself on the Big Dipper and stuff like going down, and it's a bit like, oh, you can't take a photograph because you're like, why? Isn't it? Your child's going off the deep diving board. Do you want to take a photograph of it? Oh, no, you can't. You're like, what? Then there are times and there are places. If it's in a public place, I don't see the problem in it. But if it's in a private place, like, I would not want people taking photographs of me and my children at home. But if we're out, it's sort of like in a public place like a park, and you get accidentally caught in someone's photograph, it's part of the course, as they say. It's the way. There's not a lot you can do about it, because you've chosen to go to that public place just as much as that person. And if you accidentally get caught, you can't just say, well, don't take a picture because, well, it's public. It's the way it is and stuff. Nothing you can do about it. Well, oh dear, but I think these stars get too big here, and it
Mhm.
goes to the head. And I sit there, and I think, oh, what was it? That one that, oh, Josh Henderson again. He did that series for Entertainment, and it's all about the public, the star life, and he got married off to that because to up his, starometer.
Mhm.
What, I can't remember what it's called. It's back on our televisions again. I have to work find that name out, but it was like I sat there and he had his management team, and they handpicked this one woman because she was beautiful. She had no sort of like, and I sat there and went, possibly it could be what it's like arranged marriages for these celebrities because that person that's caught, beautiful, they got, and if they go to dip time and everything, oh, let's marry him off. Let's do this. You sit there and go, well, actually, do they do that in real life? Isn't it? You sit there and
Yep.
think about it. And, it's like you got all these, it's like it's a bit weird. Like Ben Affleck, he was with like Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Then he went with Jennifer Garner, and now he's back with Jennifer Lopez. I goes, what did she do? Sort of like, you know, where you at dip times in your relationship or in your starometer, because she did pretty well out of it. She got a couple of kids, and then and then she got with someone else, and then I just sit there and go, I don't know if I sit there and go, you don't need to sort of like a soap, a serial drama. You just look at the sometimes in celebrities' lives. And
Mhm.
when they go back and you sit there and go, oh, Bennifer's back. What one? You had Jennifer Garner, and then you had, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, and now you sit there and go, it's back, they're back again. I was like, oh God, I sat there and went, what? You go, oh well, never mind. But you do. So you sit there and it's I don't know if I would want to be a celebrity, to be totally
I
honest.
wouldn't. I know people that do podcasting like what I do because
Yeah.
they want to get famous from it. And
Mm,
when I stop and think about that, because I remember when I was young, like really
yeah.
young, I wanted to be famous. And
Mm,
looking now at people like, John Belushi and Lindsay Lohan, Lindsay at least is still alive, but look where their paths led.
yeah.
Um, fame is, I wouldn't want it. Bill Murray said it best when he was on the Howard Stern show. He
Mm-hmm.
said, try being rich and see if that solves most of your problems for you.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, what he was talking about as far as being rich and famous, he said, try being rich and see if it solves most. He was talking about the fact that when he goes out someplace, he can tell immediately whether this is going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's sort of like chasing rainbows, so they've got a pot of gold at the end of it. You go, actually, it's more fool's gold than proper gold. It's not worth it. It's like I know people that work 70, 80 hours a week, and they're on the go all the time. I go, but how much quality time do you get at home with your kids, with your wife? I goes, it ain't all about that. I said, I'll turn around and I'll give you an example. My dad, God bless, he's no longer here now. He was literally, he ran three businesses, had to work out, he had to go to China and work. And for the last 3 years of his life, this is no word of a lie, I saw my dad, what, no, three times a year, so 9 times in 3 years. And I had a big discussion with him. It wasn't brilliant and stuff, But I turned around and I said to my dad, I goes, is this really, truly worth it? I said, 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're not. I said, I said, you want the South Fork Ranch, you want this, you want that. Because that was his big dream. We all sort of like, you know, he was going to buy land, he was going to build us all houses on it and stuff like that. I goes, do you know what? I would rather you be here present now than you doing what you're doing now. I said, I'd rather have you here and I could pop around and have a cup of tea with you than you than seeing you every 3 to 4 months. And, you know, that is how, and then my dad isn't famous, but I sat there and it's just, is it really worth it? And I don't think it is. It's like, you know, you look at Lindsay Lohan, you look at like Britney Spears, you look at all these stars, and I look at it and go, is it really, truly worth it? And I look at it and go, not really. I said, I think, you know, I'm in sort of like my home here in England, and I'd rather have this than what they have sometimes.
Mhm.
I just look at it and go, I'd like a sort of like a bigger house, but it doesn't everybody. But I'd rather live the way I am than the way they do. You sit there and go, I want to, it's like me, if I wanted to go to the store later, I
Uh-huh.
can. They can't. They can't because they got to probably alert their security before they can say, oh, I want to go to the store. I want to do this. I want to do that. Me, I just sort of like grab my shoes, keys and go. But I don't know. I don't think I would want to be a star. I don't know. I just
No.
you look at it and you go, yes, good. But then you sit there and go, no, no, thank you. I think I'll stay as I am.
Well, you were associate producer, I believe, on 13 Fanboy. Is that correct?
yes, yes, I am and was, and yes, I
Yep.
am.
Yep. Yep. And you didn't get to see it on the big screen, I take it, huh?
No, I had
No.
to rent it because at the end of the day, it's just there was nowhere near me that I could have seen it at. And to be totally honest, it's I couldn't go to the theatre anyway because of the way my personal family situation is.
Uh-huh.
It's just you can. It's just my personal family situation is I can't because of the way my kids are. It's just not feasible. So I rented it, and going to the London premieres and the Darlington is too far away for me safely to go to. And I just sat there, Deborah goes, are you coming? I goes, I can't. I said, it's all right for you. I said, but I can't leave my husband alone with the kids because it's just too far away and stuff. It's just, it's just not feasible. So I rented it off of YouTube in the end. So I can't go to, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I did. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I did rent it. It's the first and only time right now I've ever rented a movie online. And looking back, I wish I hadn't have done it. I should
Mm-hmm.
have. I should have just been not seen it.
Mm.
I've seen Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives many times on home video. I got the box
Yeah.
set. I've seen it many times. But when I was in Toronto in 2019, I saw a midnight screening of Jason Lives.
Mm-hmm.
Then I didn't just see the movie, I experienced it, and I experienced it with an audience. That's a
Yeah.
whole different ballpark, and I still like going to the theaters. Now, when Halloween Kills came out, everybody and their dog the following day were doing spoiler reviews.
Yeah.
Now, when I do this show, it's nice to have hits, likes, and views. It's nice. I love it when I get lots of views or lots of likes and lots of hits on my any anything I do on here. I love it. But it's not all about that. You know, I don't have this monetized. I do this because I enjoy it. I have another job. But here's the thing. When there's a lot of these people, they'll watch the film. They'll first give a spoiler-free review, which quite frankly, I think they should leave it at that, but I can't tell them how to run their channel. But these people were going on there within the next day and spoiler reviews. So I remember I get off work. I work as a cleaner and I work back shift. And I should have went home and gone to bed, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see Halloween Kills before I learn more about than I do. Now they could sit there and they could say, well, you don't have to listen. When I'm cleaning by myself at night, I stick my earphones in and I listen to podcasts. You know, they should be grateful I listen at all. And but I listen, it helps the time go and allows me to enjoy work a little more than I would if I wasn't listening. Now, I didn't give a spoiler review for 13 Fanboy. It's not that I don't care. It's just that just because I help make the movie financially doesn't mean I have to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. So I don't need to open my mouth and say who the killer is, you know. I don't feel any need to do that. Whether it's got likes or hits or all that shit or not, you know, but I went and saw Halloween Kills and wrote my review for that, and that was it. I kind of knew how it was going to go, but I kind of wanted to see Kyle Richards as Lindsay Wallace. I kind of wanted to see her again, you know, and she grew up stunning, I gotta say. But then came 13 Fanboy. I had no intentions in going to the theater, or not going to the theater. I had no intentions of streaming that. I put a post recently that I think Debbie Sue Voorhees didn't care for, where I said, you know, obviously 13 Fanboy wasn't good enough for Canada. It didn't play here anywhere. And it played in various places in the United States. It played in some places in the UK. Didn't play here. And I think, and I'm going to paraphrase here, about me putting theater ideas out there. I did that. I've had her on. I've had Joel Paul Rising on. I've had Riley C. Morris on, and I've had Jason Bradford on. I don't know who I messaged about Cineplex here, but I know I did it. Maybe even did Debbie Sue, but I don't know. That part of my memory is a little shady, but I have put it out there. And Jimmy did the same thing with Tennessee, you know, and to no avail. I was in Toronto back in the end of October for Frightmare in the Falls. And I said, this would be a good time to have this someplace in Toronto. I said, Toronto is a place that you get lots of people to view it. I could promote it. And again, here's the t-shirt.
Yeah.
I've been wearing this at the cons. Whether or not I was appreciated for it is neither hey or nay, you know. And I got this. I brought this to the cons.
Yeah.
You know, all this, but no, the Doubtfire challenge wasn't worth it, you know, I guess, you know, because I'm a fucking asshole, I guess. But nonetheless, I went and I put a lot of legwork into promoting it, and it didn't play here. So I was not planning to stream it. I had no desire to watch it on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I did is because Halloween Kills was spoiled, but I
Mm.
did not have a personal attachment to Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
I had a lot of money in on 13 Fanboy.
Mm.
So guess what? I got home from work that morning, and when I should have probably went to bed, I thought I'm going to rent 13 Fanboy off YouTube, which Debbie Sue had told me in the last interview I did with her. She did not. She said that's not supposed to be on YouTube. Well, I rented it for $6.99 on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say? I don't know how it got there. That was where I rented it. But nonetheless, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and there's a lot of stuff about it I can appreciate. I loved seeing my credit at the beginning of the film and the end of the film. And I appreciate that not only my picture was in the movie, but it was splattered in blood right beside your picture with you and your family,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing all the resurfaced stars. I love Tracy Savage. I love Lara Park Lincoln. I enjoyed seeing CJ Graham have that knockdown fight with the Fanboy. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed seeing Christopher Norris's kill scene in the movie. Bravo to him that he's got the most talked about scene in the movie.
Mm.
I loved seeing the woman get pitchforked at the beginning of it, which I thought was a cool kill.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I enjoyed. I thought Debbie Sue is a very competent director. She did a great job with this movie. She got Dee Wallace, who was wonderful, wonderful in it. Ron Sloan was extraordinary. Think of this,
Mm-hmm.
Junior. I always see him as Junior, and look at the performance he gave in this movie. I loved Ron Sloan in this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I loved seeing Kane Hodder and Jennifer Bonko do their scene together. And I loved seeing Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman, I laughed every time he was on screen. I don't think he had enough screen time for my liking.
They could do a comedy spin-off with his character, I think.
They could, yes, they could. But at the same token, I remember I went online and I asked for people that are not in the forefront of the film to come on. And I had about 8 people respond. And it was cool seeing people like Orlando Rodriguez taking pictures of Haley Greenbauer at the gravesite,
Mm.
or seeing Brian. I'm going to screw his last name up because it's not right in front of me, but played the creepy janitor that Haley encounters at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I had interviewed him. It was nice seeing these people. And it's like, yeah, it made the experience more fun for me, or hearing Troy Elke's voice on the phone, you know.
Yes, a wonderful security guard.
I love Troy. Troy Elke should be on screen, to be frank. I mean, that guy has got eons of talent and not recognized highly enough for it.
Yeah.
But as a director, Debbie Sue did a great job. The lighting of the film looked great. Um, she did a great job. I enjoyed her cameo and it was terrific. But and I know Jason Bradford had told me last night I shouldn't air my grievances, but I tried to do something nice with this Doubtfire challenge and it kind of got swept under the rug. And I'm like, okay. But and that's not just with 13 Fanboy. That's with some other films I've been involved with too. I had a
Mm-hmm.
director of one of the other films I've been involved with. He was supposed to do the challenge with one of the cult film actresses he's got in his film.
Mm.
I put $1,000 into his movie,
Yeah.
and now he tells me they're not going to do it because it's not trending. There's that word.
Trending, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When I was in school, I wasn't trending either. I was not trending so badly that I was the least popular kid in my class.
Yeah.
Yep. Trending reminds me of popularity. Popularity reminds me of something I never had. And
Yeah.
yep. And so when I stop and think of 13 Fanboy or any other project I've been involved with, I'm like, okay, if I may quote the line from Christmas Evil, I know the tune.
Yeah.
I will step back. I will not issue the Doubtfire challenge at them. But like I said, at the conventions, I'm not going to allow them to meet me either. And notice I put me up there on this one. I'm not allowing them to meet me.
Yeah.
You know, not going to allow it. So anyway, I'd love to meet you though. I think you're pretty awesome.
One day we will. One
Yeah.
day we definitely, we have to work it out once this crazy world is sort of like settled down a bit.
Oh,
We definitely
gee.
have to do something. One day we'll have
Wishful
to.
thinking.
I know. As I say, it's like I actually put one of my posts. It's sort of like I sat there. It's Groundhog Year again. Do you know? I could actually hear Bill Murray in my head. Jay says it's Groundhog Day again. Oh, and it's Groundhog Year again. I sit there go, everyone's going, oh, Happy New Year. I said, I know what, let's not say happy. Let's not say this. Let's not say that. Just say, make the best of 22, isn't it? I said, so we were hoping for 21 being a good year. It never quite worked out like that. I said, just go with the flow and see what happens and hope for the best. That's what I said nowadays. So I think, everyone's sort of like going, oh, wonder what it's going to do, what we're going to do, what we're going to, oh, guys, don't plan because you can't plan right now. I said, planning is gone. I said, what you do is you sit there and go, well, I might be able to do that. I might be able to do that, but don't set your heart on doing it because like that right now, it could change. And that is how, I am at the moment. I sit there and go, I don't plan to do this. I don't plan to do that. I just go day to day. And that is how it is right now, I think. But yeah, one day we'll have to meet up and have a coffee and I can say bloody hell a lot.
You sound very Harry Potter like when you say that, I remember Weasley used to say that a lot, bloody
uh,
hell.
bloody hell. Yes. It's the English twang, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
there go, yeah. The British twang, as I call it, yes.
I've heard stuff like that too, like Monty Python used to.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
sort of like very hard. I've never seen Harry Potter, but I'll sit
You
there
never
going,
seen it?
I don't get time to watch stuff or that stuff like that. I really I sit there and go, you should see my recording list I've got on my television. I've got like series because I don't get a lot of time to sit there and watch them. I look around, am I still good? I sit there and go, right, I'll go through that lot. And it's like I had a plan to, to binge watch one series that I've had recorded. It's still sat on my, recording box. I haven't been able to watch it. No, well, I don't know. One day I might have to watch Harry Potter, but it's just time really. I don't have to get a lot of it. So
Well,
what can you do?
you're also credited for being part of Halloween Evil Lives. You want care to talk about that?
Yeah, well, Halloween Evil Lives sort of like came about in I think in middle last year. I just
Mhm.
like the backstory that it was getting made because one of the original people is no longer around, and I just sat there and I thought, well, I'll help get this made, and it's sort of like a Halloweeny fan film,
Yeah.
and so I just sat there and thought, well, and also like the story behind it, why it's getting made and stuff. So yeah, and it was also a Halloween Michael Myers film because because I was like Michael Myers. So, and I can't exactly be. I can't see Jamie Lee Curtis saying, "Come on, Kerry, let's go and do a movie together." So it's as close to Michael Myers as I'll get, to have my name associated. So yeah, I'm executive. I think is executive producer. Yeah, I think I'm executive producer of that. So I think I'm the only that woman executive producer as well. So yes, and I like. Uh, Hopefully this year I might get involved in a couple more, but as I say, it will be. I just will make sure I do my research first before I get involved in any more projects. So that's the way I am, because at the end of the day, as I say, it is your money, and I want to put my money to the right projects.
Yep,
So
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, I've had Michael Tagagnan on here last year, so, and I've had a few other people according to this. I mean, Laura Wilson, I'm supposed to have on, she's listed here right now. I'm having her on the end of this month, knock on
mm,
wood. Troy Elke I've had on, Jimmy Presley I've had on, Scotty McCoy I've had on. I was
mm.
happy to connect you with Scotty. Did you have a good time with him?
Oh yes, yes, we had a good half-hour chat. Just talking about how I got involved with 13 Fanboy, any advice I'd give. Looking into projects, and what my favourite horror was. And yeah, we had a good old. Lisa came up. I was like, "You sure you want to chat to me?" And he goes, "Yeah, you got recommended by Greg." And I was like, I went, "Oh, so yes, we've done our little interview, and I'm honoured, because at the end of the day, I'll sit there and go, I'm only me in small town UK, and I'm just honoured that people want to have me on their shows and talk to me. So I was very
Well,
highly honoured.
well, you know what? Scotty is one of these podcasters like myself who will interview anybody. I like giving people a chance, and I was more than happy to send you. I knew you'd be treated well by him,
Mm.
so I sent you his way. So I'm not surprised that he took up the mantle and had you on the show. So I actually spoke of you during the interview he did with me. So there
Oh,
you
thank
go.
you.
Yeah,
Thank- Yeah,
yeah.
so got on really, got on really well and stuff. So I felt honoured to be on the show. So
Hmm. Yeah, Scotty's
yes.
great. So what did you do for New Year's?
New Year's, we just sort of stayed at home really, just watched Big Ben on telly, had sort of like a late night feast, as we sort of like to have a later dinner, and so we had that, watched Big Ben, convinced the children that needed to go to bed because they were all hyper because they saw the fireworks on the telly,
Uh-huh.
and I started watching the rest of Cobra Kai.
A
I
lot of
say,
people were watching Cobra Kai. I don't have television, so I don't, I just got my Blu-ray player and watch my movies. But I guess Cobra Kai is very popular, and so
mm,
there you go. But you got any projects coming out this year that you want to talk about, or is your
um,
slate clean right now?
at the moment, my slate is clean, and I'm looking into a couple at the moment. I won't say anything right now, but what it, but I'm doing my research and sitting in the background, because that's one thing I said to Scotty. I said, um, do your research, sit in the background. Don't just go in it because your friend's in it or you feel like you're being pressured into doing it. I said,
Uh-huh.
sit in the background, see how you're treated, see how this, that, and the other,
Mhm.
because I think you need to get to know the cast, you need to get to know the crew and stuff before you put your money in. Because my advice is do your research, because you get a feel for them who are doing it for the ego bit, and who aren't doing it for the ego, and who are the genuine ones.
Yeah, I've
And
had one person who sent me, and apparently Troy Elke said he's gotten the same email, or actually Facebook message from the same person. I will not say who this is, but I've gotten the same message 3 times for this guy, just different movie title, different actors, but same wording. And always starts out, how Greg, hope you're doing well. I'm like, no, you don't. You're going to
no,
ask me for money to support your film. And it's
yeah,
so insincere. And I've gotten 3 from this one person. And the
yeah,
only thing I could do, because I mean, I got myself a CPAP machine last year because I went from moderate to extreme sleep apnea. That cost me $2,000.
yeah,
Then I went, had to get a new car because my car stalled for the umpteenth time going down a busy street. And I realized I'm going to have to take care of that problem.
yeah.
So I had to get a new car, which cost me about $20K.
Ouch.
So when I get these people asking me for money to support the projects, I'm like, they do not take that into account. Now I offered this guy, I said, the best I could do is have you come on Zoom on my show and promote it. No answer to that. And when somebody's asking me to give them money by PayPal for these, I find that very sketchy.
Oh, it's not the one with the famous house, is it? In the famous sort of like by the, I'm not going to name them, but there's sort of like a, I sit there and I go, Is it the one with the famous house?
I don't
The big,
know. This person's not a famous person.
No, because I got a similar message too in my messages.
Oh,
In these things.
the movies are about have the title of a famous house.
Yes, yeah, I've
Yes,
had exactly the
yes,
same one.
yes.
Yes,
And so, yep,
and it's based on a famous haunting of a house and stuff like yes, I
yep,
had exactly the same one. Yes,
yep,
I was just sitting there. Do you know your brain starts cogging? I know what one you're on about. Yeah.
yep. I've gotten it. So is Troy Elke, and I'm pretty sure that between the 3 of us, we're not the only ones.
Exactly. Yes, it begins with an A. And there's a lot of these yes. I know what one you're on about now. Oh,
Oh
so I
yeah,
guess it's hi Kerry, how are you? I was sitting there going, well, actually, I could do with a bigger house. There's one around the corner for me. Can you give me 750,000 English pounds for the pleasure of I'll bet you say no. In it, because
yeah,
literally we like where we are, and there was a house around the corner from us. We thought, and we looked at it. It's perfect for us and stuff. And I sit there and I look and I go, I need, how about if you give me £750,000 and then we could talk about your movie.
yeah, yeah. I don't know where he has the time to film all these projects, but something's up there. And again, I'm not going to say his name,
Yeah.
best of luck to him, but I've been warned.
Mm, yes.
I,
And I would never PayPal anybody because to me, is it going to your vacation fund?
yeah,
Isn't it? And
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, Kerry, this has been wonderful having you on here again. I must apologize because your screen has been frozen for the last half hour, but
All right. Yes.
I didn't say anything because I'm like, if I would say something if the audio was off, that's a different story. But
Right.
when I play this at the station, they're just going to hear voices. But I don't know. There are times when I'm wondering if my screen is frozen with somebody else because you don't know yours is frozen, and who knows what. But I figure if you can
Yeah,
hear us, that's good. I know people that listen to these going in their car, so we're
yeah,
audible. Our audible is great. So, but it was wonderful having you on today. And again, I apologize about yesterday. You know that for those listening, I was supposed to have Kerry on here for New Year's, and
yeah,
yep, and I got a text message from my supervisor where some stuff needed updated at one of the places I cleaned. And it took me a little longer than usual, but I got done work at about 6:30 in the morning. I came back
yeah,
here, had a little breakfast, and I think I had like, I don't know, 4 hours or something before you were supposed to come on. So I set
yeah.
my alarm and thought I'd take a little nap. I did not hear that alarm go off. So my apologies, but I'm glad that I wouldn't do that deliberately, and I'm certainly glad that we're able to make this work today.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I love that big uh, picture that's behind you on the wall. That looks cool.
New York City.
Yeah.
We went up into the attic, and we sort of like we've been in this house for a couple of years, and we put stuff in the attic. And we sort of over Christmas we put the pictures up on the wall, because you have to, in English houses, this is an brand new house, and you have to wait 2 or 3 years before you can hang anything up on the walls, because the house needs to settle down. And we were finally be able to put pictures up on the walls, so it was quite nice. But
There you
yeah, so we've
go.
got, yes, so we've got, and they do light up as well at night. So you could put, sort of like this New York skyline.
Yeah.
There's a little, yeah, they light up. I have to send you pictures of them when they're lit up, so they're all nice and pretty. So
There you
yes,
go.
as
There you
close
go.
to New York as I can get for a long, 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 long time.
Probably the same here as well. Probably the
Hmm.
same here. Well, Kerry, it was wonderful having you come on here today, and my second interview of the year. You know, so
Hmm.
and I want to express my appreciation because again, it was Nancy McLaughlin from Jason Lives that suggested I take this up on Zoom, but you were the one that really got me connected, and I thank you for that. And I have voiced that on several other interviews. So I really appreciate you taking the time to show me the how to get on here and do this, because I did
Yes.
144 interviews last year, and quite frankly, that would not have happened had you not shown me how to do this.
Yeah, no worries. And do you know, remember when we were talking and I was trying to find that film, that
Yeah.
one that started me off, that I had a 5-year quest. I found out it was called Five Desperate Women. It was done by Aaron Spelling, and the year was 1971. After 5 years, I finally found it. So lockdown's quite a good thing, because you sit there, go on a quest, and I finally found, and it's on YouTube as well. So there you
Five
go.
Desperate Women of Aaron
Yes.
Spelling. Okay. All
Yeah, and it's
right.
done in 1970. I remember a year going, oh, what was your, and I went on a quest not long after, our thing, and I finally got hold of it. So, and I watched it, and I can, and it's clear as the day as I was remembering the memories. So, highly impressed.
Well, with me, I was born in 1972, so that film came out the year before I was born.
Yep. So
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I got there in the end.
there you
So,
go. Well, Kerry, happy New Year to you. I wish you the
and to
absolute
you.
best in 2022, and hopefully, maybe I'll have some more group chats on here, and it's always nice to see you. And always nice to see you're active. I always hear them talk about you on Death Curse Society.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm obsessed with desk exercises. It's like you sit there. It's like, do you know you have knitting circles? You've got the knitting circle, the book club. It's
Yeah.
horror club, and I will sit there and I'll go, oh yes, because you can talk about horror, and a certain Titanic actor who's not a very good, I'll sit there.
Oh, Billy Zane. Yeah, I've heard all
Oh
about it.
yes,
I've heard all about
yes.
it.
I actually own the hashtag now.
Mhm.
I won't say it on here, but I will tell you what our hashtag is for Billy Zane. And yeah, they go, and it's so funny because they like the idea, because obviously I've got the British sort of like humour. Now they've adopted my hashtag, so yes.
Yeah. No, well, I love Deaf Curse Society. I've listened to them. There's
Mm.
what Ziggy and the Colonel, and who's the other
And
guy?
Red Crank,
Red Crank.
Red Crank.
Yes. There you go.
Yep.
I listen to them.
Yes.
I listen to them. Yeah. They get a great show going on, but I love it when I hear them address you when you pop in there. It's nice to be recognized, isn't it?
It is, and
Yep.
it's I sit there and I'm like, yes. It sort of like it comes up at 1 o'clock my time in the morning.
Yeah.
And I said I should be asleep, but for a couple of hours with headphones on, it's fun. It's good. It's a couple of hours where you talk about horror. The Billy Zane thing comes up at least once a show.
Yeah, they're not impressed with Billy Zane.
Yeah, I actually saw why. I went, yes, another asshole. That's all I'm
Yep.
saying. Oh,
Yep.
mm,
It just spells a lot to people like myself and yourself who not to approach even when we're at a con, you know? I mean, they're only burying themselves, so
exactly. And
yep.
it's word of mouth nowadays. Word
Yep.
of mouth. It's before it was like, because we're a little bit closer because of social media. If you're acting like a TWAT, it gets out quicker. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yep. At least Jennifer Lawrence has got the talent to carry her, but you know, she keeps her mishaps up. Might be the same thing for her too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But
Yep.
yep. But here's hoping Emma Stone stays straight, stays on the straight
Yes.
path. I like her. She's awesome. And of
Yep.
course, Keanu Reeves, awesome guy. So special shout outs there. Anyway, Kerry, thank you so much for coming on here. And
Yep.
your first interview has got a lot of hits, you know, a
Oh,
lot of hits.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep. So
I'm glad.
so when this one's ready, I'll send her your way and you can feel free to post it.
Oh, brilliant. And have a good new year to you
Happy New
too. And
Year to you.
I've got a coffee in my hand, so cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, I don't see you because your screen is frozen, but
Mhm.
I'll just make believe that you're toasting me right now. You
Yeah, we've got
toasting me, your
something.
tea, and I've got a bottle of water here with a blood opera uh,
Yeah.
thing on it. Yeah.
Well, I still got my Christmas mug, so
Yeah,
cheers.
the only thing Christmassy up here is my Skittles stocking, and he's over there asleep.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I thank you for coming on here today. Happy New Year to you, Kerry, and we'll be in
Yes.
touch. We
Yeah.
will
Definitely.
absolutely. Anyway, God bless you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
And you take care. All right
Absolutely.
then. All
Bye
right then.
bye.
Bye.
Say bloody hell.
Oh bloody hell.
Later, Carrie.
All right then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.